Take us through that interception there at the end of the 2-minute drill.
Yeah. Running down on the clock. First off, take care of the ball. Don't make that decision down there. Halfway between running, halfway between throwing, just make a better decision. Jerry ran a good route. Either put it over the top of him or really chuck it in the dirt and go to see the next play. Don't go half and half there.
What have you liked about your last week? What have you liked about your first week of work?
Well, I say this now, and then I had that today, but I feel like, as a quarterback room in general, including myself, I feel like we've been taking care of the ball. But knowing when the time is there to press it downfield, just being clean, being consistent, knowing where to get to the ball, and I think it has a lot to do with how quick we can get through reads now, how we've seen these plays, how we've seen the defense. We're seeing it better. We know we're protected, and if we're not, we know when we're not. It's just playing better quarterback football. It's just progression and a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, and a little bit of knowledge.
You play with both the ones and the twos, and on the flip side, you go against the ones. Is there a big difference between the one defense and two defense?
I think I need to start watching Justin Simmons tape on my free time just to make sure nothing like that happens again. Both of our defenses are good. There's ones for a reason, there's twos for a reason. They're all learning and getting better, especially if the twos get to watch guys like Justin and Kareem and Vaughn and Chubb and all those guys. That's a good defense we're going against every day if you're going against them. And same with the twos, really. Vic's got them rolling. They're tough to play against. And it's fun, though. It's fun. You know that they're going to throw crazy looks at you. Most of the time, stuff you see out here is way more crazy than things you see on Sundays.
Would you rather it be one day you get all the work with the ones, the next day Teddy does? Because Vic said he was open to that. It wasn't going to happen today, but would you maybe prefer that just so you can know what you're doing for the whole day with that?
I mean, you might get a little bit more of a rhythm. There's some periods that get taken out in the middle of practice, whether we're going long or whether we're going short, and you might get a little bit of a rhythm. But whatever the coaches want to do, however they feel like they want to, attack this quarterback competition. It's the first one I've ever been in, so I wouldn't say I'm the expert in knowing how to run a practice in this, and we'll let them take care of the rest.
How do you feel like Cortland's coming along? Seemed like today he was certainly very active.
Yeah, I was really happy to see Cortland do what he did today. He's excited to be back out here. I think slowly but surely, and even these past couple of days, you really saw him take off, and just I think he's starting to feel a lot more comfortable out here. I don't blame him. That's a tough injury to come back from, especially as a receiver, cutting, changing directions, and I think you saw more of a glimpse of the old Court today, and it's been fun to watch him come back to it.
What you're seeing on Cortland, are you hopeful he'll be that same Cortland come week one, jumping up to get the 50-50 balls, everything?
Absolutely. I know he will. I've seen the work that he's put in this offseason when I was here in the offseason, and there's nothing in my bones that tells me he won't get back to that. He will absolutely be back to the normal Cortland.
What about the work Jerry Jeudy's done and what you've seen from him?
Man, he's something different. He is making big strides. But I know Jerry doesn't talk much about what he's doing, and he wants it to be shown on the field. So I'm going to let that speak for itself, his work and his play on the field. But he is coming along, to say the least.
In terms of how you're growing pre-snap, what's kind of your comfort zone, and what do you think you can do better now pre-snap than you could, say, this time last year?
I think pre-snap, the biggest thing that I've made the jump for is probably it's got to be in protections. Coach Shula made that a big emphasis for me and myself in the offseason on knowing when you're hot, knowing when you can fix it, and knowing when you do fix it, where you can get beat after you fix it. We don't want to get blindsided. We don't want to not have a plan when they bring a pressure and, oh, I didn't know I was hot. Well, you're supposed to know you're hot. And I think that's one of the biggest jumps I've made, and that honestly brings, a little more comfortableness in the pocket. You know when you're protected. You know when you're going to be safe. And, hey, that's my problem, guy. All right, peek him. Nope, he's not coming. I'm good to go. Let's run the play. I think that's been big for me in this, and it didn't come without a lot of flash tape on what the boxes look like. All right, how do they bring this pressure? What does our defense do here? What do these defenses do there? It's been a lot of work, but it's surely been worth it.
So what ticks you off the most when that happens?
I just feel like deep down in your gut, you feel like someone got the better of you. And as a quarterback, it's a little less about myself. It's like I feel like they got the better of the 10 guys I'm playing with. and that's what really kind of pisses me off, quite frankly.
Is that tough because you don't have a practice tomorrow, you don't have another period, you got to sit with that sucker for a couple days now, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. It does sting. We're gonna go learn. I'm gonna go watch it, but yeah, it's more about those dudes get to go in the locker room, like, yeah, give you a little slap, and it's like, all right, we gotta wait 2 days until we can come out here and give you one. But yeah, it's just they get the better of you, and that's that. But you gotta take it like a man and go in there with a smile on your face and be like, hey, good play.
Follow up on that a little bit. You talked about in the offseason how you were keeping the same routine both before OTAs, afterwards. During camp, though, do you try to take, when you guys actually have an off day, do you try to step away from it at all, or are you still kind of locked in there? And how do you kind of approach an off day?
I'd say everything that I do to get ready for this practice today, I will do on the off day. It just might not be at the same exact time. But I'm going to do everything. I'll keep my little routine I do in private, but I do absolutely everything, and maybe even a little more since I'm not with the coaches and kind of by myself, and dig deep into it so that we can come out here after a day off and not be sloppy, not be slow, and take care of the ball and score some touchdowns.
A few more for Drew. A bigger component to this is stuff people don't see. Tempo, all those.
Yeah, no, that's huge. You got to be in it for a long time to really know how it's flowing, how the practice works, what's this period for, what's that period for. All right, are we running the ball in this period? Are we passing the ball in this period? There's just a lot that goes into it. Are you rolling with the ones this period, rolling with the twos? Do I need to grab Quinn, get a couple extra snaps before we go out there? Am I with Cush? You just bounce back and forth from a lot of different things, and that's part of the quarterback battle. That's part of the test. There's just a lot that goes into it, and that's what makes it fun. You can't ever come out here relaxed. You got to be on your toes. You got to be ready for whatever. Hey, Vic's going to cut this right here. He's going to count it as a penalty. You guys are going to move back 10 yards. Okay, here we go. Let's 1st and 20 or 3rd and 18. You just got to adapt. You got to figure it out. And quite honestly, it makes it fun. It makes it difficult. It makes it hard. But that's what you need. I feel like if it's easy, you're not really going to learn much. But when it gets difficult, that's when you really learn and see what you're made of.
Because of your comfort level with the offense, do you wish you could check a little more? Because you have the knowledge and you could change it if you want it, but it's a scripted play.
Yeah, the scripted plays do become a thing in its own as well. But no, I feel like Pat's done a good job of being able to mold this offense to where we have multiple options on every play that are ended up being open, and allowing us to check it on certain plays, even if it is a scripted. We have a lot of scripts that have a double play call on it just in case. And then we'll even go off script a little bit sometimes, but it stays between us, I guess. But no, I think the scripts are what it is. It is what it is. They're needed for practices like this, and if we can get a couple double calls on the script, then that makes it a little more fun too.
How different are the conversations between you, Pat, and Mike this camp compared to last camp?
Yeah, way different. The meetings end up. I thought I took a lot of notes last year in camp. I know looking back on those notes now, they were pretty basic notes I was taking. I couldn't believe I was actually having to write those down, and I'm taking a lot more this year. But it's stuff that I've really never heard of before because it's so, it's not big picture stuff. It's very minor things that Coach Shula's been in the game for a long time, and he's learned over the years. Coach Shermer's been in the game for a long time. He's learned over the years. You go sit with Ed Donatel at lunch, and he'll start saying some things, and you're like, wow, all right, I got to remember to write that down when I go back. It's just been fun to be able to dive in a little deeper than surface level this year, and it makes it even a little more addicting, quite honestly, and it's really fun to be a part of.